Okay,
Yes,
somebody said yes, sir. All right, thank you very much, ladies and
Adeleye
gentlemen.
Kazeem, I can see your screen.
Thank you very much. So, let me start by introducing myself. My name is Elijah Folabi, and I'll be your facilitator. I'm aware that you did one yesterday where you treated the module one. I was talking about sensitive information, Wi-Fi, amongst other things. So today we want to continue, and I'll be your facilitator for the day. So, like I used to do, I will want you to engage. I'll be checking my chat box from time to time to see what you guys have to say and all of that. And we just have a very short time here, in like an hour, we're out of here. But I want you to participate as much as you can, because, of course, we are meeting virtually, but we can still engage as if we're meeting physically. So please engage, and don't be shy. Put anything in the chat box, say anything that comes to your mind as far as this class is concerned, and we will be good. So, like I said, my name is Elijah Folabi once more. I'll be taking you through this session. Good evening, sir. Wood Grace Omobolaji, Ideal Girls Junior High School. Nice one. Please, let's introduce ourselves. Thank you, Grace. Yes, Ogunleye Bose Debukumi from Araromi Senior Secondary School, Sari Igomu. Good evening. Thank you very much, Bukimi. Others, can we keep that coming so that we can be sure of the schools that are represented here? Please just put in your name and the school you are representing. Yes. I'm giving a few seconds to that. Guys, can we keep them coming? I've seen Wood Grace Omobolaji from Ideal Girls Junior High School. I can see Ogunleye Bose Debukumi from Igomu. I can see Ajala Saidat Okoyemi from Adibola Baptist Junior School. Thank you very much. I can see Rahman Abibat from Wesley Girls Senior Secondary School. I think I know this school. It's not far from where I stay. Just at Yabaye. Rahman Abibat, maybe I'll come and eat dinner in your house this evening. Since you are staying very close to my house, please prepare. Thank you. Yeah. So we have Adele Kazim from Muritala Jadi Animation Community Junior School. We have Oladapo Kabiru Taiwo from Community Senior High School, Surulere. We have Awukwetu Ezekiel from Mainland Senior High School, Fadeyi. Oh, I used to say in Fadeyi, I lived there for about 5 to 6 years. Awukwetu Ezekiel, you are in my territory. We'll catch up one of these days anyway. All right. I'm seeing WAC Olajide Taiwo from Abat Macaulay Junior High School. Thank you very much. I'm seeing Oluwu Shagba Olorunyomi from Itolo Girls High School, Senior Secondary School. Yes. So thank you very much, guys, for coming in. So let's get into the business of the day quickly. Others, you can keep dropping your name. We'll see that. So today we want to continue by talking about password. I'm sure yesterday you must have been taking through sensitive information, Wi-Fi. I just one person, just put in the chat box. What did you learn from yesterday's session? Maybe one particular thing that resonates with you. Just put it on the chat box. I just need one person, one or two person. What you can learn from what you have been taught yesterday, from sensitive information, to Wi-Fi, amongst other things. Just put in the chat box, or you can unmute and just talk. Yes, you can unmute. Just tell me what you've learned. Anything you learned from yesterday's session. Anyone? I hope these
In
people are
summary,
not going
what
to
I
unmute.
learned yesterday is that when you connect anyhow, you collect anyhow.
When you connect anyhow, you collect anyhow. I love that. May I know your name, please?
Wood Grace Omobolaji.
Grace Omobolaji, thank you for that. Someone said, Raman is saying use not public Wi-Fi because it is not safe. Yes. Another person said that's a means of detecting scammers. Yes, I can see people learned a lot. Adeleye is saying sensitivity of information. So thank you very much. I can see you learned a lot already. So let me just kickstart today's session by talking about password. You were taught about Wi-Fi, letting you know that not all free Wi-Fi are free, because if you connect anyhow, you collect anyhow. Now, it's also important to discuss issues around password. But what are we trying to discuss in this module? What we are trying to discuss is to let you know one of the things you need to know about password, how to keep your password safe, and some sensitive information or some sensitive tips on how to keep your password safe. So let's start with this. Guys, imagine this. Imagine what will happen when someone with intended harm or want to cause trouble have access to the password to your social media accounts. What do you think that person will do with that? Imagine when a scammer, aka Yahoo Boy, gets to know the PIN to your bank account. Just imagine what will happen, right? Imagine what will happen. Maybe the person will pray for you, right? So you can see that you can just imagine what will happen when this happens. This addresses issues around password. So imagine somebody who has planned in his mind to harm you, now having access to your social media accounts or getting to know the PIN to your bank account. You can imagine what will happen, right? So let's continue. Look at this guy. We all want to avoid this situation, right? Situation where you are just in a situation where it just looks like everything is going to come to an end. Maybe the money you have saved, your life savings, somebody just wiped it in a twinkle of an eye. So all of us want to avoid this situation, right? If I'm correct, right? Okay, I can see the chat, but somebody is saying cookies and your privacy. Somebody is saying how to make your password strong. All right, thank you very much. You also discussed that today. Thank you, So everybody wants to avoid the situation, what we call story that touches. You know that situation now, and I know some of us can relate. Story that touches. When everybody seems to be coming to you and say, yeah, sorry, Pele, oh, that will not happen again. So we all want to avoid the situation. So that's why issues around password has to be taken seriously. And what's the next thing you need to know is that the next thing you need to know now is that how do you now know whether your password is weak or strong? It's important. This is around password. I mean, a lot of us here, our password are very, very weak. Somebody will ask me, Elijah, how do you know? I've been doing this for some couple of years, and I've been in places where we have trainings and people's password are very weak. How do you know when your password is weak, guys? It contains only your name or your family name, like with Grace. That's like a password. Yes, that's an indication that your password is very, very weak. It's an indication that your password is very, very weak. Some of us, our password contain our date of birth. In fact, let me ask here, and I want you to be very, very honest. If you are here and your ATM card is your date of birth, your ATM card pin now is your date of birth. In the chat box, just say, yeah. Be honest, guys, be honest. If your ATM card pin is your date of birth, just put in the chat box, yeah. Emirad said no. Okay. Okay, Emirad. Can I have someone? Would Grace said no. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, who else is speaking? Your ATM card pin is your date of birth. Or you know someone whose ATM card pin who is close to you. Is this your date of birth? Some say mine is my matriculation number. Did you see that? Or matric number. That means if I'm your friend or Ladapo, if I'm your colleague in school and I know your matric number, I don't need to guess so much. Once I pick your card pin, I try your matric number or anything about it because I know your name. Of course, I know your matric number. For example, if I'm some of those your close friends that we read together in college days, you can just have cards. Somebody said it can be Lawa. Someone said one of my names. You can see that. One of my names. You can see that. I love your sincerity. I love your sincerity. Right? So this shows that our password, Mark is saying no, no. Okay, don't worry, let's continue. Now, I can see now that some of us, our date of birth is not what we have as our ATM pin. I can see one of us who confessed that you, Elijah, will not lie. My heart is my date of birth. Somebody said it's my name. That means a letter, any number that falls where the letter of your name is, that's what your password is. Guys, this is one of the signs of a weak password, and you may want to change it. If it contains your name or your date of birth or date of birth of your spouse, date of birth of your children, you may want to change it because it means that when I have access, when I get to know you, then I don't need to guess too much because these are some of the things some of these guys does. Once they have information about you, they can begin to spool them and begin to try them. Before you know it, one of them will come through for them. Another one is your favorite club. Some of us, our pin has to do with our club, Barca, Chelsea, right? You may want to change it. You can see the example we have here. You can see the example we have here, guys. Somebody's pin is what Barca because it's a Barca. right? Someone here, you can see Good News 1992. Let me assume Good News is someone's name, right? And the date of birth is 1992. So the password is Good News 1992. So once I have your name and your date of birth, I can easily guess your password. You may want to change it. Some of us, it contains common word, like I love you. Some of us, it's simple numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, before I started this session, I was speaking to one of my, students, right? I was speaking to one of them, and I was telling her that, you need to help me do this. And she was like, okay, I gave her my ATM card pin, like someone that is very close to me. Okay, go and let me do this, right? And she told me, sir, my number, my ATM card pin is this. We're just, conversing. And I immediately, even before I started the session, just few seconds, I told her, I said, go and change it. Imagine what the ATM card pin is, 2468. Two numbers that anybody can guess. You may want to change that, is important. Some of us is keyboard patterns like QWERTY. Some of us, your password is usually short, particularly less than 8 characters long. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're on this call and your PIN, your password is less than 8 characters long, you may want to change it. It is a signal that your password is very, very weak. So guys, let's go. You understand what I'm saying very well now. Now, let's do this now, everybody. This is a class activity, and I want you to do it sincerely. You will log on to this website, https://www.passwordmonster.com. All you need to do is to input the password of any of your accounts. Guys, I can tell you this is safe. Any of your accounts, whether it's your Facebook account, whether it's your Instagram account, whether it's your WhatsApp account, just input your password there, right? The system will automatically tell you the duration it takes for anybody to hack into your password. So I want us to do that in the next 1 minute, and I want you to just engage me in the chat box. Tell me the duration it will take for your password to be hacked. Yes, guys, we have like a minute to do that. I want to see everybody. I have 23 persons on this call. I want to see everybody again. Just put the password of any, then the system will tell you what it takes anybody, these guys on the other end, to hack into your password. Let's keep it coming, guys, in the chat box. Yes, who is going first? Who is on that website? If you're on that website, just put in the chat box, I am there. I don't have anybody on the website. Okay, guys, let's do this very quickly. https://www.passwordmonster.com/. Yes. Anyone? I hope these guys have not gone to cook noodles in the kitchen. Yes, yes. Guys, let's keep it coming. What does it take? What's the duration to hack into your password? Don't be shy. Feel free. That's why we are all here to learn. Yes. Anyone? And beyond this class, this link is what you want to share with your family members or your students back in school. You get to school to tell them to put in their password and see the duration. So the duration will tell us what we are supposed to do. So that's why it's important for us to take, somebody said 34 years, Adebowale Karim Adibola. Okay, thank you for that. That looks like it's ably strong. Any other person? Adebowale, I'm still coming to that. Oh. Yes, I just want to get the duration for everyone first. Yes, any other person? Guys, let's keep it coming. Somebody's writing on my screen. Don't do that. Yes, somebody said 25 words, Kabir. 25 seconds, 25 nanoseconds, 25 years, 25 minutes. Yes. Woodley said mine is weak. Grace. Whether it's weak or not, I agree. Just tell me the duration. Somebody said 5 months. Inwigwe Epubejoy. I hope I pronounced that well. Epubejoy, 5 months. That password is relatively weak. You may want to consider changing it. We'll get there. You'll get there. But I need everybody. Okay, Kabir said 25 years. Okay, relatively maybe strong. Yes, any other person. I'm sure I don't have only Kabir on this call. Ogunleye said, I don't get it. Ogunleye, all you need to do is look at this https www.passwordmonster.com/. Go to your web browser, put on your data, log on to that website and input any password you have, anyone, whether it's your Facebook password, your Instagram account password, your WhatsApp password, any password at all. The system will tell you the duration it will take for anybody to hack into that password. Sadat said 10 months. Sadat, you want to change that password, is relatively weak. We'll discuss that after this slide. Yes, you may want to change that, it's relatively weak. Sadat. You can see why sometimes it looks like our data are vulnerable out there, because it takes just very less time for anybody to hack into your password, right? And to hack into your account. I mean, so as others are, okay, somebody put 7 months, Ezekiel Awokwetu, that password is relatively weak. Somebody said I have another password for my official mail and I logged it in. It's 71 million years to hack it. Wow, that is relatively strong. That's relatively strong. Adebo Karim. Yeah, that's somebody said 34 weeks. Wood Grace, 34 weeks looks relatively weak. So, guys, so that we can just continue, you can, copy the, web address, share it with your students after these sessions, share it with your family members so that they know the duration it takes for any scammer to hack into your password. Let's move to the next thing. When we have known that our password is very weak, one of the things I noticed about this weak password is that I was at a training at the Ministry of Labor and Employment, and I see people's password. In fact, there was one man's password that took just 2 nanoseconds to hack into. 2 nanoseconds means that it's not even up to a second for someone to hack into it. Grace is saying 32 hours. Sorry. Messi, sorry. Educational Services saying 32 hours. Oladapo Kabiru is saying 26 hours. These are relatively weak password. Somebody's own was 2 nanoseconds. It's not even up to a second for somebody to hack into. It shows that the password is weak. And the next question that now comes to your mind is, I have agreed, Elijah, that my password is not that strong. How can I have a strong password? I know that's the question somebody will be asking in his mind. Now look at this, guys. I have simplified this for you. So just hear it soon. Don't be shy. If you eat so put it in the chat box. I mean, this is weekend. Or if you just had a catch up with your friend, maybe yesterday or today, and you eat soon, those soon now. Somebody say 100 trillion years. Yes, very strong. If you eat soon in the building, don't be shy. Just put in the chat box. Yeah. If you eat soon, goat meat. If you eat it, put it in the chat box. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. These people eat shawarma or they don't eat asun. Rahman Abibat Adenike, you don't eat asun. Olorun Yemi, you don't eat asun. Somebody say, every people say I eat shawarma. Lagos babe, you eat shawarma. Okay, it will be joy. Is there anybody here that eat asun like me? Asun. Somebody said 200 nanoseconds. You can see that password is weak. Yes. Somebody said fried meat. Okay, no problem. But you shall eat asun. Now, so that you will not forget the recipe for a password, I have simplified it for everybody here. And that is what asun is. That means that your password should contain, thing is what your password should contain. Your password should contain alphabets. That means it must contain letters. That's the A in the asun. Your password should contain lowercase. Lowercase means at least a small letter. A, B, C. You can see that. Your password should contain symbols. Symbols like at, symbols like hash, hashtag, symbol like question mark, symbol like comma, symbol like full stop should be contained. That symbol, S in the assume. Your password should contain uppercase. That's the uppercase means a mix of capital letter, like capital letter A, B, or to C. Your password should also contain at least a number, like 1, 2, 3, thereabout. And the last but not the least, which I'm always very, very serious about, is that your password should contain at least 8 to 12 characters long. It's important because the more the character, the better. Look at the example I gave you. Now, is the capital letter, small letter, SMA, 1, 2, 3. You can see that everything you see is a mix of what? Capital letter, small letter, numbers, symbols, and if you count, is at least more than 8. You can see CAP, SMA, 1, 2, 3, H, comma. These are very short passwords. that it will take millions of years, if not possible, very difficult to hack. So it's important that your password contain all these things. If you are following me, put in the chat box and say, my password will always follow the recipe ASU8. Just put it there. My password equals to ASU8 if you are following. I want to be sure everybody is following. Put in the chat box. My password equals what? ASU8. ASU is ALSUN8. To be sure you are following me. Yes. Let's keep it coming, guys. I want to be sure everybody is here. Yes, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. My password equals ASU8. My password equals ASU8. Thank you very much. Ogunleye Bosedi. My password equals ASU8. Yes. Where is Grace? Yes, my password equals ASU8. Good Grace, thank you. I thought it was only Amaka they said used to disappoint. Thank God you are not Amaka. You don't disappoint. As about Good Grace is ASU8. I'm saying, you know, it's ASU8. 8. Someone said my password ASU8. The ASU must be there before the S. Oladapo Kabiru, thank you. In week we will be joy and I eat shawarma. I think from now henceforth you'll be eating ASU like me. My password equals ASU8 Raman Abibat. Yes, thank you. Yes, who are following. They are not in the kitchen cooking noodles. Yes, I that. Yes, Balogun, they are following. So your password must contain that recipe. Then the next that you now need to know is what are now the other tips that you need to know moving forward to protect your password. But number one, you can use password manager. Password manager can be LastPass. Example of them is LastPass or Google Password. That way, it means that when you hit your password, if you could recollect, guys, when you visit a website, you can save your password on Google. So that when you visit the website, Google can easily remind you of that password. It has been programmed in a way that when you are on that website, the algorithm is programmed to identify that you're on that website. And by the time you try to put in your username, it can remind you to say, do you want to use this password? So you can use a password manager so that you don't forget your password. Because people will say, if I use all the strong password like the example you give us, I might forget. So you can use password manager like Google Password, like LastPass. Then change your password frequently. I'm very big on this. In fact, I advise change your password at least every 6 months. You know why? Because as you use the web, you never can tell. You have visited some websites that have compromised your personal information, like your password. But when you change your password frequently, say 3 to 6 months, you are sure that even though these guys have the list of those passwords, you are sure that before they hack your account, you change the password. As a matter of fact, if you have time before this session, I will show you a list of passwords that I downloaded that has been leaked online. Some of you might be surprised that you find some of your password or some of your old password in that list. I have it. If we have time, I will read it before we end this session. You will see why I'm saying that our information are vulnerable. And that's why you see in the first session you had, the facilitator that took you through must have taken you through the statistics of the fact that even Google and Facebook were not left of what? Of phishing. I will still get there, right? And they lost about $100 million between 2015 and you can imagine. So it's important that you are able to change your password frequently. Another one is that do not use the same password for many accounts. Some of us here, the same password you have for Facebook is what you have for Instagram, is what you have for any account you have. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to consider changing it because when you use the same password for so many accounts, it means that if I want to hack your account, I need to have access to only one of your accounts. Once I need the password to your Facebook, I'm sure I have access to your Instagram. When I try for your Instagram, I will access it. When I try for your email, I will access it. You may want to stop using the same password for many accounts. It's not one of the best ways to protect your password. The next is to use what multi-factor authentication. That's MFA. You remember that anytime you want to use an app, particularly some sensitive app like bank app, one of the things we ask you is to add some other verification question, like where were you born, like where did you, where did you attend your primary school, things like that. Where is your closest sibling? Where are they living? That's like 2MFA. And why they are doing that for the 2MFA, right, is to make sure that you can have other ways of verifying that it is you aside your password. That means if any other person have access to your password, that two-factor authentication will stop the person because the person may not know where you passed your early childhood or where you grew up. So it's important that when you have applications or websites that ask for two-factor authentication, you want to, activate that. If you check WhatsApp, for instance, you collect that at some point it will pop up for you to put in your what two-factor authentication PIN to be sure that it is you. It's just to make sure that your account is secure. The next one is that always update your software or application. I'm very big on this too. Some of us, even your OS, either your Apple's OS or iOS or your Android operating system, will be telling you to upgrade it, or even your application on your phone. You will not upgrade it. You say, I don't have data. That's why you are in this session. Moving forward, when your apps are due for update, ensure you update. You know why? Because at every point in time, developers are working around the clock to make sure that everything that can lead to a security breach, they can fix those patches in new upgrade. Let me give you an example. I currently work in a fintech, for instance, a fintech that has a payment platform. I mean, this happened about 3 weeks ago, right? And what we do is cross-border payments. You can be in Nigeria, you can have accounts in GBP, in USD, but you know what one of the guys did? One of the guys beat our control system, and you know what he did? He initiated a transaction in USD, and he does not have a USD account or a USD equivalent of that transaction, and he initiated that transaction, and he was able to bypass some of our algorithm, right? But thank God that we have someone at the back end who monitors all the transactions. He was able to quickly track that person and decline that transaction. What am I saying? If our softwares are not up to date, scammers can easily bypass our protocol, and that guy would have been able to successfully make that payment with a fictitious USD account. It does not have a USD account, and he initiated the payments, and he was able to go through the first stage. But thank God that our softwares are up to date. We're able to, track the guy and stop that payment. That's what can happen to anyone who does not update their software. So that's why you're in this session. It is not to reach on to anybody, it's for you to learn. So that when you go back to your schools, respective school, you can teach your pupils. You can enlighten them. When any application tells you to update, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, any application you use, please ensure you update it, because developers are fixing what security patches to make sure that every security breach is what is protected and nobody have access to your personal information. And another, the last but not the least, which is important, is that do not tell anybody your password. I will say this with a story which happened when I was in University of Lagos. If you attended University of Lagos here, you will be able to relate. Let me see if I have greatest Akokites in the building to be sure you guys are safe following me. If you attend Unilag, greatest Akokite, just put in the chat box grades. And I'll be sure you are an Akokite like me. Yes. Lawal, yes, great. I can see my fellow colleague. I have a lot of people from Akokite here. Miriam Adenike, great. That's good. Nice one. No, guys. It's like after this session, we need to have an after party. I don't know. I have all my people here. The great messages from Akokite. We are talking about the Akokite here. Saying, well, that's no problem. But I'm happy I have, Akokite here. You're of course here too. Well, you're also in Lagos. Let's not make it seem like you're not part of us. But you know what it is to attend University of Best Choice and Nations Pride. Let me not go there. I know Balogun Sherifat and Ezekiel and the rest can relate with what I'm saying, but let me not go there. So that Grace will not come for me and say, you, let me not go there. Let me not go there. Somebody said you really get mouth. You don't know. We have mouth in Akokai. Don't try us. But let me not go there. Now, guys, thank God I have a lot of Akokai here. You'll be able to relate with this story. You are aware that in Unilag, from your undergrad to your final year, you always have a course that is a computer-based test. I know you can relate. Even I think class also does that. So there's this story of this one. This one happened. I'm aware. I studied accounting. So I'm aware, right? So this guy and this lady, they were in a relationship and they've been dating from 100 level. Now, when they got to 400 level, I think this guy was eyeing another girl in the class. And this girl was not comfortable with it. I think they discussed it and the guy continued. Do you know what this girl did? Unilag, from your to 400 or 500 level, whatever, you still have to write an exam that's computer-based test. And everybody has their password. After your matric number, you have your password. And because they've been dating from 100 level, you know now, they know each other password and everything. You know what this lady did? This lady went to the exam hall in final year. He went before these guys. I mean, then even like there's nothing like proper verification where like I learned they do now that the exam hall you still have to verify yourself. They give you a one-time password to write your exam. Then it used to be maybe once you have a password, like maybe your surname, that's what you use throughout. This lady just went there before this guy, logging into his portal as if the lady wants to write the exam for her. The lady did not pick any answer. It was an objective test exam. And the lady submitted for him. That was how this guy had an extra year. Right? What can we see from this story? I mean, they share password with each other. And that was why I'm even talking about somebody who knows you now. That is why that's why we call it password, right? Password is supposed to be for you alone and for your personal consumption. Now, that was how that guy had an extra year. I'm not telling you a story I had. It's something I know. And if you're aware, thank God I have a lot of my pocket. That's why I started with that. If you know that you must write an exam, it goes to the cloud as CITS. Nobody can change that score. The only thing anybody can do to assist you is maybe you'll see 30 marks. Your exam goes to the cloud. If you score 0, that's how it's going to be. Nobody can change it for you. That was how somebody said human heart is desperately wicked. Exactly. That's why you're in this session. So your password should not be shared with anybody. Somebody said that's wickedness now. I did now is wickedness, but it's a true life story. Lawa said that's wickedness. Yes, that's why I'm trying to retrieve this last one. That's why I included this. Now your password is what you should not share with what? Anybody. That's it. That's the moral lesson I'm trying to share, and it's a true life story. Don't share your password with anyone. It's because you never can tell that your best friend that is your best friend today might be you understand now. Don't let me finish it. So the next thing we should talk about is what? Online scammers. Watch out for online scammers. And this will be very, very interesting, guys. I tell you the truth. Watch out for online scammers. So let's move very quickly. How many of you have received a phone call from someone before who mentions your name and every information about you? And you later discover you don't even know the person. Please, if you fall on this table, if this table is for this table, I'm shaking. Just in the chat box, say yes. If you fall on this table, you have received a text message from a number asking you to submit your BVN. This is even common. In order to help you upgrade your account, I received one recently. The guy sent it. I just called him back. I said, guy, we are both in Lagos, hustling. You cannot reach it for me. The guy smiled and ended the call. He was telling me it's from GT Bank. I'm like, is it me you want to scam? I mean, it happens to everybody. How many of you have seen a call telling you you have won something and that to claim it, you have to call a number? They'll tell you you won 50,000 voucher. You want to claim, you have to call the number. A lot of people are on this table. Somebody said, me, yes, so I am one of Wood Grace. You can see that. Ezekiel said, yes, a call from UBA. You can imagine from UBA. In fact, I will share some things with you here about some of the operations of some of this bank for you to know when you receive a call or text message, you know it's not from them. I even saved the contact. You can see Ogunleye said it. I even saved the contact. God save you. I can imagine what happened to Olusegun Olorunyemi. I know that God saved me has a lot of story behind it. Somebody say, yes, so I got one from NPC. NPC should be National Population Commission. I'll be National Pension Commission. Which one? Semi say yes, so Miriam say yes. You can imagine that almost everybody fall on this table, right? That is why this session is important for you. Cannot overemphasize the reason why you have to attend this session. You have to go back to your respective school and enlighten your student massively on all these things, right? Because one of the initiatives of Meta is to make sure that people are trained and they know about all these things. Now, guys, let's get into it. About this, everybody. What will happen when malicious hacker try to access your information online? You should just imagine what will happen. What will happen when a website you are not logged in want to keep track of who you are? I know in the last class you were taught cookies and how cookies work. And I know the person who taught you must have done justice to that. Let me not go back to that. Right? So you may have wondered why websites you visit want to keep track of who you are, right? You can list some of the information malicious hacker are looking for. You know them. Do you know that there's a malware, what a malware is and what it can do? Malware can be installed to compromise your information, to steal your information. Dauda said, yes, thank you for that. Now, moving on. Look at this class activity. I love this very much, and I want you to be sincere. You are doing this class activity too. I want somebody to tell me, look at this through Facebook web page and tell me the one you feel is scam and the one you feel is legit. We have the next 1 minute to do that. Just tell me the one you feel is scam and the one you feel is legit. Mary Phillips said, yes, thank you very much for that. If you feel the first one is legit, put in the chat box 1. If you feel the second one is legit, put in the chat box 2. Please, before you tell me which one is legit or scam, zoom, kindly zoom your screen and look at it very well. Ayoshe Niton, stop writing on my screen. Ayoshe Niton, stop writing on my screen. Okay, yes, keep it coming. Saidat said 2 is the legit one. Ogunleye said 2 is the legit one. Not there. Imeri Philip said 2. Balogun Sherifa said 2. Wait, this all of you are saying 2. This is not an examination. You have copied yourself. Is everybody saying 2? Somebody wants to talk. Somebody unmuted now. Do you want to say anything? Adele, okay, thank God I have somebody who has a contrary opinion. Olajide Taiwo said 1. Thank you very much. Adele Kazim said 2 is legit. Okay, Yunus 2. Grey Mercy Educational Services said 2. Okay. All right. Without so much ado, Ezekiel to say 2 because it has Facebook on it. I love that. Somebody even gave me because that Facebook. So you think if you zoom this number 1, if you zoom it to this side, let me use my piece of. I think if you zoom it to this side, you will not see Facebook. Okay. You see some of us here, you are doing, thank God we are all teachers, so some of you can relate. Some of you you don't even know why one is legit or scam, because you just saw 2. How many of you have done that in primary school? You just see somebody that is very brilliant in your class. Even if you don't know the answer, what the person says is the answer, everybody will just follow. Everybody's just putting 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I hope you are not putting the 2 because somebody said it's 2. Maybe you had the session yesterday, you feel like anything Oladapo say is always true. So just use that one. Somebody said they look same. That's where I'm going. They look same. Yes, they look alike. Somebody said they look similar, though. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for engaging. I appreciate this. Thank you very much. Now, let me tell you, the one that is legit, right? Number 1 could have been a scam, right? Why number 2 could have been a scam too? But the honest truth is that number 1 is actually not legit. Yes. Number 2 is the legit one. You are correct. You can see here we have what? Facebook. And if you check as well, if you zoom very well, if you zoom to the screen, you realize that if you check this person, when you have 5262914, you see that you don't have something like 3 this thing. But if you go to a normal website, once you get to this point, you always have these 3 dotted lines. But what I love is what Grace said. They look similar. It takes a deep research, a deep observation, taking your time to look at it closely to now know which one is legit and which is scam. And that is a question of what? Phishing. That's what? Phishing. That's what I'm doing. What is phishing? Phishing is just a cybercrime when a group of people disguise as if they are from a legitimate source in order to defraud their targets. That's where I'm going. Now, if you notice, both of them look very similar, but the honest truth is that one of them is very scam. That is how exactly these phishers work. Phishing. Phishing is when you tailor a particular thing to look exactly like it. I know for instance, this is not to attack anybody from this part of Nigeria. For instance, we usually say that there's nothing in this life that Abba cannot make. I know some of us can relate with this particular statement. There's nothing, only if my guys from Abba have not seen it. They will make exactly how that thing looks. But the honest truth is that, is it the original one? Or is it the exact one that was made by the manufacturer? No. But it will take a close look for you to know that they don't even look what? They don't even look similar, right? It takes you to look closely at it before you realize that they don't even look similar. Exactly. And if you check this fishing, if you hear about the story of Hush Puppy about 2 years ago, if you notice what Hush Puppy does, one of the reasons I was successful at what he does, I took my time to study him, was that they were very perfect at this thing we call fishing. They were fishers. In fact, they defrauded one of the famous footballers, if you follow that story. Why was it possible for these guys to do it? And if you notice what Hush Puppy does, if you even watch the documentary by Interpol in Dubai, they have been tracking Hush Puppy for over 6 months before they discovered what he was doing. And what does this guy do? They will take their time. They are not in a hurry. If they want to, if their target audience is Bank of England, they are not in a hurry. They will take 6 months to study everything about Bank of England, including how they send email, including their corporate culture and governance, including their organogram, everything about the company, in a way that by the time they are done and they structure something, anybody who sees that will find it difficult to differentiate whether it's a mail, to differentiate whether that mail is from Bank of England or not. That is fishing. That's why these guys were very, very successful at what they do. And I said it earlier on, and the last factor that I've told you, that even Facebook and Google were not what left out. Between 2015, they lost about $100 million to fishers. Although after litigation and all of that, they were able to collect an amount of money from that $100 million. But the truth is that they also fall victim. That tells us how powerful this fishing is. So you have to be careful. And this also translates to employment of opportunities. Some of us, we are falling victim for employment scam. Somebody will you see, that's why it's even in Nigeria. Anytime you see police commission saying, please disregard anybody saying we are recruiting in the police force, so we are not recruiting. A lot of people would have fallen victim before they will come out to release that press statement. Why? Because all these officials, they take their time. They will send that email as if it were from the legitimate source. So it takes some understanding for you to differentiate. We also talk about that in this session. And don't forget, the reason why we are talking about all these things is not only for your own enjoyment. Go out there and preach the gospel. Go to your school, speak it, preach it to your fellow teachers, speak it, preach it to your students. It's important. You can see online scammers and malicious hackers. This one is just to tell you who they are. They are using websites, social media platform, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram to get personal detail or money from people. That's what this guy does. They go to these places to get personal details from you. And some get their target through what employment scam by creating fake website for people to apply. If you are falling victim for this before, just say hi in the chat box. Where somebody sent you an email of an employment, let me just say employment scam. Whether you are falling victim or not, but you've received something like that, for just say yes in the chat box to be sure you are following. Yes, anybody? Anybody? Yes, Abdul Salami said yes. Thank you very much. Oh, Olajide Taiwo. Yes, I can see that a lot of people are falling victim for what? For this. Yes, I haven't. Somebody said that. Yes. Yes. Look at the story of this woman, everybody. Quickly. Look at this, Mrs. Olanka. This is a true life story. November 2021. I intentionally included this to help us put things into perspective. Look at what happened. This woman was newly enrolled into Nigerian Immigration Service. So this is legit Nigerian Immigration Service, right? And she was trying to what? To make a payment. But she did not know. Little did she know that that website, the Nigerian Immigration website, was cloned by some set of people. Look at what happens to her. What she did was to first pay 1,500 as submission fee using her husband's ATM card. She put the bank details on the portal and 4,000 was deducted. Imagine the amount on the website was 1,500. How much was deducted? Somebody say yes, but God saved me from them. Dauda Balikis, yes, yes. Can see that, right? 1,005 was what was on the bill. They deducted 4,000 naira from that. She thought it was a joke. The operation did not go through. She was like, she tried to make another attempt. Look at what happened again. Using her own debit card, they debited her how much again? 5,000, making her much 9,000. And the bill there was 1,500. Without her approval, still the application didn't go through. Look at her statement. This was what shocked me. Why I included this in this presentation. She said, I did not know that the job offer was fake because it looked real. And I was desperate because I wanted to get a job badly. So I had to believe, she said. You can imagine that. This was somebody falling victim from 1,005 to what? 5,005, right? Because the website was closed. Somebody will say, oh, Mrs. Olainka was naive. But the honest truth is, the website was closed. Now, you know what it means to close? It means that it looked almost exactly. In fact, I'm sure that at that website, the colors you see there will be the color, the official color of the Nigerian Immigration Service. You know, something that looks like a brown color that you'll not be able to differentiate. You can imagine what happened to her. So that is to tell us that the work of all these fishers, right? So let's continue. The question that you can now ask yourself is, how do you now spot online scammers? Because the reason why we are here is not just to talk about the rhetorics, but beyond the rhetorics, how can somebody say, yes, even I don't know how they got my phone number? Yes, your phone number is everywhere. How many of you have gotten this blue BRT card in Lagos? If you stay in Lagos and you get this Cowrie card before, if you go and when you went for the registration, you realize that to get your information, all they need was your phone number. If you can recollect, the officer attending to you will just tell you, can I have your phone number? Once they put your phone number, they will ask you, are you Mr. Elijah Afolabi? I'll say, all your information are downloaded, because what the government is trying to achieve now is what? A unified database. That's why you see, even when you are going to register for international passports now, in fact, I think about a year ago they started, they don't need you to go there and start filling form. Your name, all they need is your NIN. Once they get your NIN, all your details are downloaded, including your phone number. So our details are everywhere. Anybody can get your number from it. In fact, don't even go too far. Some of us, if I go to our Facebook page, our phone number is there. If I go to your LinkedIn page, your phone number is there. Your Instagram, and you are doing it legitimately because you have a business you are trying to push out there. So our phone number is everywhere. So what is now important now is, how do you now spot them so that you don't forget? Number one, how you know is that they post like they are from somebody you know, a colleague, a family member, or government agency. Like somebody you know, very, very legit. They will call you. Some of them will even mention your name, where you stay, your school. They even tell you, do you know this person? They will make you comfortable with them. That's one of the things. They will try to gain your trust. That's another thing. They will try to gain your trust. They will tell you stuff like, we are trying to make sure your account is is updated. Maybe even recently, they noticed that maybe you are using a tier 1 account or a tier 2 account where you can receive a particular amount of money. You tell you notice somebody sending you 200,000 naira and you are not able to access it. That's why we are calling you from UPA to see how we can help you. So they try to gain your trust. Look at this snapshot I have here. You can see how many of you have gotten this kind of message before. In fact, somebody confirmed that from, like the person said, from UPA. Look at the dear customer, due to BPN validation, compliance with CBN. That's how you even know. I'll still tell you how you know. Look at the grammatical error, CBN Bank. That's the little way to always know some of these things from these scammers. And a bank, a corporate entity cannot send you something like this, no matter how, because they go through a lot of scrutiny. Look at it, CBN Bank. That's a red flag. Directives. Your ATM card has been deactivated. It's having underscore. When it's not my Instagram name, it's not my Instagram way. Username. I'm seeing D underscore activated. Is somebody seeing what I'm seeing on this screen? You know, say that customer care. Customer care, in most cases, will not send you an email to tell you to contact them. That's another red flag. They will not send you a text message like this and what? And attach your phone number for you to call. It's either they call you directly and from the number you know, or they send you an email, right? On your official email address, or your bank manager will call you from the bank to inform you. You can see the red flag. D underscore activated, CBN Bank. Look at the phone number being attached within the email. These are some of the things. Somebody said, yes, I've gotten one before. That is Udris. Udris, thank you very much for that. So you can imagine, guys. So they say things to get you emotional. Some of them will tell you, if you don't do this, you may lose. And all of us don't want to hear that we want to lose something. So we want to rush today. You may lose this, your house. You may do this. They want to play on our, our emotions, and we want to rush them. They will ask you to act now. That's how you know. Another way to know. They will ask you to click links. Some of them will even attach links to this, like this text message, like this one. They will ask you to click. When you see something like that, is one of the red flag. You don't want to click that link from a text message, right? You ask you to log into a website, use phrases like act now, or we take over your house, things like that. They ask for personal information, like your pay. your BVN, PIN is personal identification number. They ask you, they overpay you and ask you for a refund. I don't know if this has happened to you before. You just see a credit alert more than an amount you are expecting. They will now ask you to return that money. These are some of the ways. When you see something like that, is a red flag. There are online scammers. Right? They promise something that sounds too good to be true. I have issues with this, particularly for Nigerians. Somebody will tell you Jumia is having a promo that now they're having Black Friday. They now send me text message to say, come on, we are selling something 95% off the cost. I used to tell people there's certain things that you don't even need to think twice. How will somebody give you 95% off the costs? It's not possible. Even if I look at it from the accounting view, it's not possible for any trader to give you 95% off. But some of us will quickly join. First, of course, we'll not just jump in. We'll call our family member. You put it on our family WhatsApp group and say, Mommy, Leukemia is doing so 95% off, quickly order something. I know your intentions are right, but the honest truth is this thing sounds too good to be true. And these are ways in which online scammers get their targets, and you don't want to fall victim. The last but not the least is that they offer something you want or need at that time. I've explained this earlier on, what you need or want. The next question is, if you have spotted them, what are the other tips, right, and tricks to make sure that you don't fall for them? Number one, do not click links on the email. I've explained all this in your text message. Don't do that. And again, when you are clicking any link, at the end of your HTTP, ensure it has S at the end. Anytime you are clicking any web page, when the HTTP does not have S, please don't click. The S in that HTTP means secured. It means our website is relatively secured. When the website is not having S after the HTTP, guys, don't click it. It's a red flag that website is not secure. Anything you do on that website, it can compromise your personal information. I don't know, the person that taught you yesterday would have also taught you that even from just allowing access to your camera, to your contact on certain application on your phone, they can snipe into your camera and snap your face. In fact, they can even get information about your contacts. That's why you see, you download some app, they will tell you, give me information to contact. Some of us, in fact, in Nigeria, is coming. We don't even check. Anything you're just typing yes. Even terms and conditions. I am sure if you're on this group now, if I ask how many of us read terms and conditions, especially when it's wrong, we don't read it. Once you see, we just think, I agree. It's a Nigerian culture, right? So those are some of the things you want to be looking at. You take your time to look at, to scrutinize. If your HTTP does not have S at the back, guys, it's not secure. Don't click that link. And you have something like SSL and TSL, right? They are names that keep your HTTPS secure too. Sometimes most email address are secured by that TLS and SSL certificate. So you can see that. Watch out for words that are not spelled well. I give you an example. Activated, you wrote G_activated. Those are some of the red flag. In fact, I've seen people, from some of the training I've taken, almost everywhere. I've seen people sending me email to ask me, Elijah, please let me check this. So I got it from a job I've been trying to apply for. Let me check if the email is legit. And when I do some little check, in fact, sometimes I don't go too far. Some of these things I'll see it there, they are not correctly spelled. And another thing you need to know is that do not log into any account from a text or from email. You don't want to do that. Do not call unknown number from a text or email. Yes, don't do that. Don't share personal information or sensitive information online. I've said that earlier on. Even your CVV at the back of your ATM card. That CVV is very powerful. It's a 3 ticket number at the back of your ATM card. It's very, very powerful. And with that CVV, a lot can happen with your account. A lot. I tell you the truth. A lot can happen with your account. I don't want to go in depth into that because we need to finish this up, right? The next thing we'll now be talking about is that how do you now spot fake news? Fake news is very important for you because a lot of us here, it's not even a lot of us, it's a common thing in Nigeria. When we receive a news, right, from any angle, the truth is that we have good intentions. That's why when I teach this session anyway, I know we have good intentions. I know Nigerians generally, especially when we see things that are favorable for ourselves. By sharing it, we have good intentions. But just that sometimes when we do it, we could have just done better. And that's why we have sessions like this, so that we can be educated, we can be oriented, and we can go back to our respective school to also enlighten our our co-teachers. How do you spot fake news? Imagine this, everybody. They just call something to maybe unemployment. I hope you guys can still hear me. Please, if you can hear me on mute and say I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Thank you. I want to be sure you guys have not
I
gone to
can
the
hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, I love this. I
We are
love this.
following
I love
you. I'm
this.
following you.
I love this. Nobody's cooking noodles. Yes, I can. Dramessy Educational. I'm with you, Balogun. Thank you for being with me. We're not going to cook noodles quickly in the kitchen. All right. So, how many of you have, you received a chat from WhatsApp and you forwarded it to someone before? You have the intention. That's why. If you have done that before, put in the chat box, yes, I'm a victim. Just no, don't use I'm a victim. No, that looks like. Just put yes. Yes. If yes, let me see the child. Yes, I am one. I am with you. I am one. Yes, Ogunle, thank you. Yes, I've done it. Yes, because we have good intention. Imagine one of your friend is in need of a job, and you see a post that says that there's a job somewhere, 100K every month, and you have a friend who needs a job. I mean, it's out of a good intention. You easily send it to your friend to say, my friend, I saw this, so please apply, right? Then let me ask, you have also shared the story on your Facebook page or WhatsApp before. All of us have done that, right? Now, this is where I'm going. Look at what happened to Janet. Janet received a WhatsApp chat from her friend who resides very close to her. I mean, this happened during Ebola. That's why I use a true life story during Ebola. There was a time, if you could remember, guys, there was a time that we were told that if we can put salt inside water and we can use it to take our baths, even if you have Ebola, it will disappear. And you guys remember? Somebody said, yes, we have been scammed. Oh, sorry about that, Oladapo. Sorry, that's why we are in this session. I know that will not happen again, right? Sorry, we share your pain. Sorry. Yeah. So, yes, guys, can you remember this time when we were told that we'll put salt inside warm water to take our bath and Ebola will disappear? Do I have guys who can
Yes, I
remember what
remember.
happened with
Yes,
Ebola
I
virus?
remember that.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, this was Janet. But imagine this was received via a WhatsApp chat, which happened, right? Janet was so happy about this discovery and she rushes to share this information with her family and friend. Look at Janet, somebody with a church mind, somebody with a good heart. She just feel like, let me share it for my family member so that they can be cured. But now look at this, in your opinion, let me ask you guys, and you have to be honest. I need one or two people to just unmute and just in your opinion, do you think this message is true? Let's forget the fact that Ebola time has passed. Do you think this is true? Number two, did she do the right thing? Now, this is where I'm going. I need somebody to answer. You answer these 2 and 3 together. If you happen to receive this message, what would you have done? In fact, so that I can let me just have 1 or 2 people on mute to answer this. 2 questions now. Do you think she did the right thing? And if you happen to receive this message, what would you have done? Honestly, guys, honestly. Yes, anyone? Just on mute.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you. Tell us your name.
If my name is Grace Omobolaji Wood. If
Oh,
I receive
Grace.
such a message, I will pause before I send it because actually I'll look at it that there's warm water and salt. This I won't actually transfer it to others. I will come down to verify. Thank you.
Verify. Oh, thank you for that. Omobolaji, you come down to verify. Any other person? Let me take one more person as we proceed. Yes, any other person, what would you have done? Did you think she did the right thing? Yes or no? Then if you are the person, what would you have done? Omobolaji just told us you verify. Any other person?
I'll not verify. I will just forward the message to all my contacts.
You forward it to. May I know your name? Sorry, so that we can address ourselves properly.
Ogunleye.
Contacts. What a kind person. Ogunleye is very, very. I can imagine your personality.
Already. So there is pressure already. So it will just be like, let solution just come.
Okay, there's pressure already, Abby. Pressure
So
to right?
like
I
solution.
can relate. I can imagine Ogunleye's personality in real life. Very, very kind. You forward it. Yeah. Oladapo is saying I will verify the source. Okay, Oladapo. Well, we are not wrong, but the best thing to do, of course, if you have shared it is the best thing. I mean, it's something you can do, right? Out of love. But you know what? That's why we are all here to learn. I'm also here to learn. It's a question of what? Verification. It is a question. Let me hear somebody put in the chat box. It is a question of verification. Let somebody put in the chat box. It is a question of verification. It is a question of verification. Ogunleye, I will also address what you said. You will see why what you said is right. It is a question of verification. Just put in the chat box. Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's a question of verification. Grace. Yes. Ogunleye, it's a question of verification. Thank you. Balogun. Olajide Taiwo. Thank you. Keep it coming. Gramercy Educational Service. Yes. Question of verification. Yes. While we have a good intention, guys, it's important that we verify any words, information we see. You verify before. Do you know why you need to verify? Now, let me now come to what Ogunleye said. You know why you need to verify, Ogunleye? Because in the end, if adding salt water if adding salt to warm water result in a serious medical challenge outside Ebola, that person will come to you and mention him and say, it was Ogunleye that sent it to us. So, Ogunleye, I hope you can relate, especially when you have friends that can help you or can trust you. You know, that's what they will say. They will tell
Exactly.
you are the one is Ogunleye that sent it to me. Oh,
Hello, our
yes.
facilitator. Something like that happened to me once. I got the message. I was just such of rushing. I just sent it to someone. I didn't know. I sent it to 3 groups, and everybody was saying that it's a wrong one. So I didn't verify. I looked like a fool at the end of it. So verify.
Sorry about that, and thank you for sharing that. Exactly, that's how it looks like. If you don't verify, especially when you are now on a group chat, that you have people that drag people, they will begin to drag you and all of that. So that you want to avoid that situation, that's why you have to verify. In fact, should I tell you another way you would have done that? I didn't get the name of the person who spoke. The person who just spoke now. What you would have done?
Omobolaji.
Omobolaji, all right. Thank you, Omobolaji, for that. Omobolaji, in fact, in a circumstance where you are not able to quickly verify before you sell, no, verification is the best. But if you are not able to verify, you just have to send. What you do is quote the source. In fact, in research, I thank God a lot of us here, and some of us are even done our maybe second degree and all. You know, research projects. Research is part of what we do, right? And one very good thing about research is that you must have been, especially the greatest accountant. If you finish with accounting like me, in accounting, for instance, if you write a project, your plagiarism must not be up to 20%. You cannot plagiarize. So what it means is that, what does that mean? Plagiarism tells you that when you see any information from anywhere, put to your source. The reason why you are putting yourself is that you are giving credit to that person. And why is that safe? So that at the end of the day, if people make decisions based on that particular assertion by that person, you are safe because you are not the one who made that assertion. So in any situation, Mobolaji, where that happens, quote the source. It is coming from World Bank, put it there, source World Bank. It's coming from WHO, put there, source WHO. That way you're able to save your what? You're able to redeem, your reputation in a way. So you can put the source. If you must send it, right, urgently, you have to put the source. It is important that you put the source. So it is a question of verification, guys. So anytime you see this information, always confirm every information you see before sending to others. I'm glad we are all learning. Now, what are the simple ways to identify fake news? Somebody said, okay, thank you, sir. Quote the source. Yes, thank you. I'm happy we are all learning something. I'm also here to learn. Quote the source. I love that, Grace. Thank you very much. So what are other simple ways to identify fake news when you see them? Number one, check the source. The person who writes or sends it. For instance, during the electioneering period, anybody can write anything. Somebody look at the election currently going on in Kogi State and Bayelsa State, if you are following it, right? Somebody from Dino Melaye's camp of PDP, since his election period, can just write something about the candidate of APC, just to maybe just make them and anything, whether it's true or not. So also the same way, somebody from APC camp can also write something to what? To also destroy the reputation of Genome because electionary time. So the question we want to ask us is that we want to ask ourselves is, who is the person who writes or sends it? What's going to be ways to know fake? There are some people, they are obvious of fake news. You know some of those people in the group chat you belong, maybe on WhatsApp. 90%, 95% of what they send is always fake news. So when you identify those people, you are sure that when you see something from them, you just ignore. The second one is to ask yourself, who has this story been, why has this story been written? Why? Is it to defame someone? Is it to destroy the reputation of someone? You want to ask yourself. The next one, you ask yourself, why is this person sharing this news at this time? I've said it during the election period. Anybody can say anything. Why is it this time? Right? You want to ask yourself. You also ask yourself, who else is reporting this to? In fact, I'm very big on this. Before you post anything, you can quickly go online. I tell people, personally, if you tell me you read the news, any news you read, I can't find at least on 3 veritable media source. I don't take it as true. I can't find it on, say, Punch. Maybe if it's a local news, I can't find it on, say, The Guardian. I can't find it on, say, give me other newspaper they are veritable source. I can't find it on Punch. I can't find it on Guardian. I can't find it on, if it's a business, I can't find it on Nairametrics. I can't find it on Financial Times. I don't need to bother myself. I already know it's a fake news. Because if you tell me something is happening now, I must be able to find it there. And some of us too, I don't keep this on the lighter note. We should also learn to also, and some of us should also learn to also keep ourselves posted. It's important. I think light is restored now. Oh, can you see my face? I'm not sure anybody can see me.
No,
it's
you
dark.
are you are
Don't worry. Somebody saying, who is this man behind this camera? Don't worry, you see my face. It's just, now we are in Nigeria. We just took the lights now. But if it comes on, I will turn on the camera and you'll be able to see who is speaking, right? So look at this. So you want to ask me who's reporting it. If you cannot find it on this veritable newspaper source, my friend, don't bother. Somebody say I'm invisible. Invisible God. It's God that is invisible. Okay. Oh. Okay, Lawal. All right. So guys, you may want to be sure of the source. That's what I'm saying. If it's a business news, you can't find it on Nairametrics. You can't find it on Daily Times. Or sorry, This Day Life, for instance. Or you can't, if it's an American, you can't find it on CNN. All of them have website now. You don't need to go and you don't need to tune into your television feed. You can't find it on Al Jazeera. You already know that it's a fake news. Don't bother sharing it so that you don't look like Missy Okunleye that spoke. So that you don't look like people don't look at you on the group like, why is this person sharing this? Or they will now tag you as somebody who is always sharing something that is not from a verifiable source, right? So, and also we ask yourself, does it sound right? I mean, this is a question of, it's personal. This thing, if I share, does it sound right? If you think it does not sound right, it's better you don't share it at all than sharing it. Then you can check online if it truly happened. Just go to Google, any news you put it there. Google is a search engine. I know the person who taught you yesterday would also have taught you Internet of Things and our search engine, how it works, how search engine works, Google and the likes must have told you. Then you check the picture if it's real as well. If there are pictures that are attached to it, there are some news. If you remember during there was a time they were saying our former president Buhari is there. This guy from Sudan that is ruling us. We're going to pick a picture. In fact, there's a website where you can check whether a picture is real or not. But because of our time, let's go into that. And you can also watch out for false headlines. Sometimes they give us headlines that are false to catch our attention. One of the things our media personnel understand is that what catches people to read the story is the headline. That's why you see all these newspaper, they don't joke with headlines. They will tell you maybe something. In fact, if some of you listen to most of these Yoruba news, they will tell you, hey, things like something that will just catch your attention that you may want to listen. Oh, Uzodinma won the election, or Uzodinma flaws. They will use those words that will make you want to read that story. Uzodinma flaws the PDP candidate in 27 local government area of Imo State. Everybody wants to read that to see what happened. Then the last but not the least, we'll be talking about this evening as we end this session is cyberbullying. Why cyberbullying is important is that you need to know about this. In fact, it applies more to secondary school students and junior secondary school, so that you go back and teach them. In fact, UN recognize this, and they have a platform where member country can report cases of cyberbullying, right? Cyberbullying, and even in fact, it happens to adults. Somebody bully you, or somebody, I mean, people bullies on social media. They will just look at you and bully you. What will you do? In fact, they will drag you. That's why the game we started the session with yesterday was what? How many of you have been dragged before? A lot of us think about this. Comment like you are a failure. You are ugly. People type this online anyway. And one of the things I used to tell people is, don't be a reason why somebody will go and commit suicide. Some of us, there are certain things we have said online that has resulted in people going to commit suicide. Imagine somebody hearing you are a failure in life. For some of us can relate. There are some things some people have told you in the past that today still want you. And on that basis, you still feel like, why would this person have said this to me? They will tell you you're a failure, you are ugly, I hate you. On Facebook, on WhatsApp. Some people have sent comments like that, and you have seen it. You post embarrassing picture of you online. Maybe when you are doing something that is uncalled for, you post it online. You can see why this link to sharing sensitive information too. Because somebody who can do this is somebody who is close to you as well. They will leak maybe a video where you are sleeping or something that's not supposed to be for public consumption. They will leak it online. You can imagine those are cases of what? Cyberbullying and harassment. You don't need to look at this guy now. He just joined this company. Look at what happened. This is a story of an intake in a company. Look at the reaction of fellow colleagues. If you can see my screen, let me zoom it. See, somebody said, "Pot calling kettle black. Hypocrisy at its best." For an intake that you're supposed to onboard, let him feel among, like this company is a good place to work. Someone else is saying, "This is a joke. Group with what?" This one is saying, "How can you be grouping a new intake?" And it happens in companies. I mean, I've worked in various companies. I mean, in this my career, right? And I've seen companies where you join where some old colleagues will always feel like they are bigger than new intake. That's the statement of this guy. Some of us can relate with all these things. They are practical things. This is a joke. We group with what? You want to group this new intake with us, this one, this ugly one, right? You see things like, you can see another person is saying someone add that to this group. That's somebody standing up for the guy and say, please just add it to this group. Someone is saying, so if we are not hip, then what are we? You have seen, in fact, look at some people will even say something in a thread that does not really. How many of you have seen a thread where you see a thread where maybe something is maybe a war between Israel and Hamas? Now somebody will say, buy 5,000, buy your perfume and oil, 200 naira on Twitter. If you have seen that before, you have even, don't let me say if you have done that. If you have done that, you must have seen that before. And you are like, what's the correlation between this and what this person is saying? So what we are saying is that you have to be very careful of what you put out there and the names you call people, because you never can tell. You hear people saying they jump inside third mainland bridge. You go to third mainland bridge and jump. So it's important. You may want to do that, right? Okay, so it's important, guys. So quickly, let's just wrap up because it's supposed to be a 1 hour class. So look at this guy, look at this picture. Everybody's calling the same guy. You're a loser, you're stupid, different things. So cyberbullying can come in so many ways. Use your phone, your chat to bully. You don't need to meet people personally to bully them. They do it online now. So it's important. And how do you handle cyberbullying is important. What I just want to know is that you can use the report icon on your social media. And for example, you use Facebook, Instagram, there's a report icon. When somebody says something that you feel is not worthy of being said, I use the report icon, report the person. Instagram or Facebook, we take it off from there and maybe block the person. That's why you see people saying they have a lot of followers on Instagram, and after some time they have been blocked. So it's important. And that thing is to be an upstander. Upstander is somebody who rise for others who are being bullied. Don't be part of those people who bully people online. Teach your students when you get to school. Don't be part of those people who bully them, who bully others, right? So you may want to be an upstander and stand up for others. Don't be those kind of people that people will share wedding picture. You say, who is this one? Put your leg back in Kardashian. I've seen people saying that. Wedding picture, people will just get where they share and say, look at this one. How will somebody as handsome as this marry this ugly girl? No, you don't want to do that. Be an upstander. So I've come to the end of the session. If you have any question, you may want to ask me. Let's just take one question because We are far behind schedule. This session is supposed to end by 8 and this is 8:17. So if you have any question, you can ask me quickly. Let me just take one question. Anyone? Any question? Any question? All right. I want to believe we don't have question. In the absence, somebody say you have done well, sir. Thank you very much. In the absence of no other question, I want you guys just put in the chat box what you have